What are the most anticipated total conversion mods for Mount & Play 2 Bannerlord in 2023 and beyond? In this video we will look at the top 5 upcoming projects, which, when finally released, will undoubtedly mark the start of a golden modding era that brings new levels of immersion, gameplay and excitement to the world of Bannerlord. But before we jump into it, a word from the sponsor of this video. The REDMAGIC 8S Pro is the latest addition to the high-end gaming phone market. I was fortunate enough to receive a sample from Nubia 2 weeks ago and have been thoroughly testing it ever since. The phone arrived in a nicely designed package and made a great first impression. Everything from the backplate to the buttons looked high quality. For the screen, we are looking at a 6.8 inches 120Hz AMOLED display with a resolution of 2480 by 1116 pixels. The display is visually stunning and remains easily visible even in bright environments. They somehow managed to hide the front camera below the screen, which is pretty nice when playing games or watching videos. The heart of the REDMAGIC 8S Pro is the newest version of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset, and this particular model I received came with a whopping 16 plus 8 GB of RAM and 512 GB of storage. Obviously an absolute powerhouse of a phone that is among the most powerful, if not the most powerful phone you can buy right now. The 8S Pro also comes with a new reworked cooling system. In extensive gaming sessions during current summer days, the phone gets warm, but not hot or unpleasant to hold in your hands. The cooler is also relatively quiet and makes more of a blowing sound than a sharp whistling. On the software side, the integrated gaming mode that activates via a mechanical switch on the side deserves to be highlighted. Here you get access to various options and settings. You can tinker with your CPU and GPU presets, connect a mouse, keyboard or a controller, project the screen to a different screen, install plugins, record gameplay clips and much more. After using the REDMAGIC 8S Pro for about 2 weeks now, I can confidently recommend it to anyone that is looking for a large and powerful gaming phone. So, if this sparks your interest, then head over to redmagic.gg. Link is in the video description below. Alright, starting with one of Bannerlord's most anticipated mods, Shokuho. Shokuho plays in 1568 and tries to recreate a historically accurate environment of feudal Japan in a time when rival warlords fought for the control over the country. The developers most recently did a 3-hour-long stream in which they showed their amazing progress and gave insights into gameplay features and their overall vision for the mod. From everything we have seen so far, one can easily tell that the production has super high quality standards. All the custom assets look amazing. The map will be absolutely massive and feature the entirety of Japan with around 20 to 30 clans. As any good total conversion mod should strive for, Shokuho will also introduce new gameplay features. They don't just change the map and the troop trees and call it a day. There will, for example, be duel scenes around the map, much like the hideout scenes in vanilla Bannerlord, where you can duel warriors of different strengths. There will also be quests that make you fight unique duelists that have a story. Another cool feature that they were teasing is post-battle looting places that you can enter after a battle. It's like a mini Escape from Tarkov version, where you compete with looters to extract loot from the battlefields. Other features are new industry and economy mechanics with a custom weapon and armor smithing system, and a culture-based production system. Shokuho will put a big focus on naval content. There will be a wide variety of Japanese ships that players can control, hunt with and fight with. They showed off cannons, all kinds of siege weapons and fire arrows that will be able to visually set things on fire. They are also looking into getting Japanese voice acting for the characters in the mod. Shokuho has no set release date yet, but a big part of the assets are apparently pretty much finished, so maybe we are not too far off a release. Next on the list we have a mod that probably only a few of you have heard of. In Hoc Signo Vincis is a relatively new name in the Bannerlord modding landscape. The project only recently formed when several standalone mods decided to merge and combine their workforce. In Hoc Signo Vincis consists of the former Europe at Bellum mod, Europe 1100 AD, Banner Kings, Expanded Armory and Lemmy's Europe campaign map. This is an absolute mega project that aims to create an immersive conquest on the European mainland, North Africa's shores, and the Middle East. The first release version of the mod will have 24 different factions. In contrast to the current version of Europe 1100 AD, In Hoc Signo Vincis will not use any of Bannerlord's native assets. A signature feature of the mod will be the progression through different eras. So the campaign will start at 1100 in Europe, but the thing is, you will be able to enter subsequent time periods. This will either happen via a tech tree system or year-related, so that it will change specifically at the start of the centuries. One can imagine that making high-quality assets for 24 cultures, and that times several different time periods, is an absolute behemoth task, but it seems that they are on a good track. The developers of this mod will also build and integrate their own expanded version of the Banner Kings mod. Banner Kings, for those who don't know, is a management overhaul modification that adds many non-combat related gameplay systems to the game, like religion, education, titles, a domain system, new skills, a court system, and much more. It also changes existing mechanics or expands on them, like for example a realistic marriage system and a more in-depth workshop system that can produce goods of various quality, depending on certain parameters. Next, we have Kingdoms of Arda, which according to different modding sites and Discord channels might be Bannerlord's most popular upcoming mod. Kingdoms of Arda brings the world of Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit and other related works to Bannerlord, allowing players to experience the rich lore and epic battles of Middle-earth. The first version of the mod will include 6 sections of Middle-earth: Gondor, Rohan, Mordor, Isengard, Harad and Dunland, and each update will expand the territory. Factions in Kingdoms of Arda will be locked, so it's basically good versus evil, with various neutral factions in between that could fight on either side. There will be major, minor and bandit factions. Major factions will have their own faction main quest, and you can serve them, become a lord of that faction, or take control over the faction. In the final version there will be a total of 25 different major factions, 12 minor factions and a few bandit factions. In terms of time period, Kingdoms of Arda takes place 2 years before the Fellowship leaves Rivendell. You will also be able to join the Fellowship if you are present at the Council of Elrond, or as an evil character, you will be able to oppose the Fellowship. Playable races in the campaign will be men, Dunedain, elves, dwarves, hobbits, orcs, goblins and uruks. Kingdoms of Arda will also feature a story mode that is entirely separate from the campaign. Story mode is a series of scenarios that can be played from the perspective of a hero or soldier, for example, playing as Aragorn at Helm's Deep. Another big focus of the mod will lie on immersive audio, aka creating soundtracks. For that they created their own Bannerlord audio engine, so they can blend easily between tracks, depending on where you are on the world map. There will also be dynamic battle tracks, depending on the stage and happenings in the battles, and the mod will also feature high quality voice acting. The Kingdoms of Arda Discord is very active, with the developers answering tons of questions every single day, and I'm probably not alone when I say I can't wait to get my hands on this mod and play it. Moving on to another upcoming historical Bannerlord mod, which looks absolutely fantastic. Dell'arte della Guerra will take place in the late 15th and early 16th century in Europe, and will feature different campaigns with several different conflicts from that time period. The plan is to release these campaigns progressively, whereas the devs are currently preparing the first version of the mod, which will feature the Wars of the Roses. Besides York and Lancaster, this first iteration will also feature Wales, Scotland, Ireland and mercenaries like the Flemish. One main difference to native Bannerlord gameplay will be a change to how the troop recruitment works. The initial plan was that only vassals and leaders of a faction can recruit troops from that faction, which would be more in line with how actual medieval armies were formed. Players would be limited to recruit mercenaries only. In a recent blog post, however, they said that players will also be able to recruit levies, the weakest form of troops from a faction, which is not in line with historical accuracy, but deemed necessary for gameplay reasons. Troop trees in Dell'Arte della Guerra will be much more linear in comparison to the native ones. So, the mod will have separate trees for different troop types, such as bowmen or infantry, whereas there will be a lot of variety in equipment owned by the same troop type. Mercenaries will take a central role in the mod for anyone who wishes to use different tactics from the English. Subsequent campaigns of the mod after the Wars of the Roses release will feature the 13 Years' War, the Burgundian Wars, the Italian Wars, and many more. The developers also stated that they will be integrating a custom version of the Banner Kings mod, so it remains to be seen what gameplay mechanics they come up with. One great thing about Banner Kings is the fact that the mod can be customized and extended, so these big overhaul mods can decide what mechanics they want in their mod and use Banner Kings as a template. And last but not least, we have Star Wars Separatist Crisis, a total conversion mod that aims to recreate the Star Wars universe within Bannerlord. The mod plays during the Clone Wars, a bloody conflict between the Galactic Republic and the Separatist Alliance. The developers stated that they are trying to avoid telling stories people already have experienced in the movies and rather create new narratives that draw inspiration from stories we know. There will be 6 different unique storylines, one for each playable faction, which are Jedi, Sith, Mandalorians, Clone Troopers, Separatist droids, and Hutt Cartel members. In the Jedi storyline, for example, you will be discovered by a Jedi Master on the planet Tatooine. On your journey, you will meet different characters and you will be faced with morally grey decisions that impact your journey. You can rise through the Jedi ranks and eventually become a Jedi Master. Star Wars Separatist Crisis will feature a galaxy map with a whopping 100 planets that you can explore. The mod also plans on having encounters while traveling through space with your ship and will probably also feature actual space combat. There is tons of partly contradictory information on the Discord, so at this point it is kinda hard to tell what will make it into the final version and what not. The mod will also feature a co-op mode. A multiplayer PvP module, on the other hand, is not planned at the moment. As far as development progress goes, I think Separatist Crisis is still quite far off a full release, but they are very active on their Discord and post snippets quite regularly. So, there you have it. The top 5 most anticipated total conversion mods for Bannerlord. Is this list super objective? No. Are there other projects that are very promising? Yes, definitely. The list is a mixture of popularity of different modding sites and Discord servers, and also what I think are the most promising upcoming projects. Let me know in the comments what your most anticipated Bannerlord mod is. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like and consider subscribing for future medieval slasher content. As always, thank you all for watching and see you soon.